Hello, hello, Scorpio. Welcome to your April 2019 overview reading. This is good for you if you're a sun, moon, or rising Scorpio. And while I pull these cards, just go ahead and pay attention to anything that wants to come up today. If you have a question or you need some information, just make a request for that to come up now. And I am going to lay this spread out for you, and then we're going to get into the reading. Okay, so I have these mindfulness cards with some really straightforward advice, and I'm getting curiosity and joy as the category that you guys need this month. Vacation mind. One of the wonderful things about going on a vacation is the delight that comes with exploring a new place. With so much newness to experience, the mind becomes bright, awake, and alive as it takes in all of the sights, sounds, smells, and tastes. But you don't need to be on vacation to approach the day like this. You can tap into your vacation mind at any time. Try taking a 20-minute walk around the neighborhood and take in the surroundings like a tourist, looking for remarkable things you haven't paid attention to before, big or small, and meeting them with freshness and interest. I would also say, like, doing things you haven't done in a while is something that can help inspire this even more. So consider that as you're walking through the month, like, how can you keep things fresh? Now, the animal card for you is starfish. So this is also a reflection of that exploration piece that you see happening in the vacation mind card. But I like to think about the movement of starfish. It's kind of slow, and there's a sense of appreciation that the starfish has just in its methodical movement. Yeah, that's kind of what it reflects to me. At least that's what it's looking like in this reading in particular. I think I'll be coming back to this. We're going to see what else the spread has to say about it, but I'm just getting that maybe slowing down, stopping to smell the roses would be a wise move for you if you've been going high speed for a long time. And then we have connection. Explore the commonalities. Seek out your perfect fit collaborators and instigators. Focus less on how it will be done and more on who you would like to do it with. The thing that's coming up here is that connections probably are what will get you the things that you want. So a lot of the time, if you're trying to manifest something big, if you're trying to call something really important into your space, oftentimes it just takes that right connection, or it might require you to manifest a particular type of person in order to get that thing. So consider that as well as you're moving through the manifestation process. The other piece that I want to mention about that is that manifestations, whether it be big, small, material, or relational, oftentimes come through other people. Now, the central energy for you is the Eight of Coins, so getting to work. But let me check on the crossing energy first before I speak to that, the Fool. So maybe you're working on something new in April, doing something different, or creating something that you simply haven't put energy into before. So there's something about this month where you're building. It's like the Fool is a fresh beginning, and the Eight of Coins is working. So it's like, what is that new project, that new relationship, that new connection, that new creation that you have going? That's what you're investing in. That is the central and the core part of this month. What you have shifting out is the Emperor. I'm going to read the oncoming energy first before I speak to this. And we have the Knave of Coins. So this is equivalent to a page. And I think that you had to actually evolve. Like, this is representative of rigid thinking a lot of the time, because the Emperor can just be really stuck in his ways and not see what else is available. So I think that is shifting out. This is like the old programming, old ways of thinking. And the Knave of Coins is really awesome because he's able to put energy into whatever it is that's fresh and new, like a new idea, a new project, a new thing. And it's that endless amount of energy to give, bringing that thing to life. And so that is where you go from perhaps being closed-minded into open-minded and seeing a whole body of information and things that may not have been self-evident before are starting to come to light now. The outward manifestation is the Knave of Swords. Okay, so it goes back to exploring, trying different things on, trying out different ways of being, different ways of thinking, different projects, just keep it fresh. Keep your mind super open this month. I think that the more you're willing to look at perhaps what it is that you haven't done before, or whatever it is that you're, whatever you haven't pursued yet, that's going to be where all of the good stuff comes in. So the more exploring you do, the more answers you're going to get, the more connections you'll make. It's just about getting curious with each and everything. And then that is going to lead you to the right places, the right times, the right opportunities. So don't forget how important this is. In the subconscious, we have the Hierophant. This is where you're going to be shedding a lot of old programming, because the Hierophant also represents institutions, but with that comes programming, like what I mean, think about like organized religion that is attached to a specific doctrine, okay, like overly black and white, right? And that's what you're actually shedding, and that's what's coming unglued, so that you can be born into a new way of thinking, a new way of processing, new neural pathways even is another way you can look at it. To clarify that, we have the Queen of Cups. This is going to be emotional in terms of what it is that you're shedding. That programming is tied to the way you feel about things. And so this is where you're really getting a huge lesson. It might look like purging, it might look like growth, it might look like new perspectives, but regardless, I think the more you can explore and try new things this month, the better off you're going to be, because it's going to help challenge that Hierophant sitting in the subconscious. You don't want the Hierophant to stay in the subconscious forever. It's something that you want to be ever expanding. That way you can achieve the highest and best version of yourself. The advice for you is the Ten of Swords. I'm going to clarify this because this is the Let Go card. I just don't know what the context is exactly. So let's see what's going on with the Ten of Swords. Judgment. So there's somewhat of a decision that needs to be made, like let it go or keep going. You know, invest or move on. Like you probably don't want to sit in limbo for too long around something or too much contemplation. This is like, take action. Like, don't worry about fear or what can go wrong. It's like, do it, get it done, make it happen. Especially if it's something professional or work related. It's like, no, do not sell yourself short with the Ten of Swords. Instead, you're going to want to make a decision to take action. Same thing, if you're holding on to a bunch of stuff that's actually cluttering your space and is not supporting you and is not helping you and is not getting you to where you want to go, be okay letting that go in some way, shape, or form. So that, like, make a decision. I'm setting that aside. I'm starting off on a new path, like the Fool recommends. You build from a place of a new beginning or a new endeavor, and then you're going to be able to have that open space for bigger, better things to come in. External influences, we have the Two of Cups. You have the connection card and the Two of Cups. So for those of you that are looking for relationships, if you're dating, that could definitely be something that's really prominent and is a very important part of your growth this month and your healing this month. This is like support, being on the same page, seeing eye to eye. And that's true for romantic, platonic, and professional connections. So, right, because not everyone's trying to manifest a partner. So it's just about the context of that is going to be variable depending on what's going on in your world in particular. But the Two of Cups is just showing that the connection is actually what's helping your dreams become a reality, essentially, or your manifestations become a reality. Those connections, that fresh start, that new endeavor can really be supported by this, but I also see this as something that would be worthwhile to invest in because you had the connection card come up. Like, who do you want to co-create with? Who do you want to do it with? Who do you want in your space? And that can be a focal point for your month. Hopes and fears, we have the Ace of Swords. So it might be a little bit frustrating if you have a whole bunch of ideas and a whole bunch of ambitions, but perhaps making it happen is a struggle or is a challenge in itself. So I'm just getting that the Ace of Swords is like, oh, I have all these ideas, I have all this information, I have all this stuff that I want to do, but then actually putting pen to paper can be a little bit more sticky. It can pose more of a challenge. And so this ultimately comes down to there's a hope for new ideas and new inspiration and clarity, and then there's also a fear of, well, maybe I have all the downloads, I have all the information, but I'm struggling to execute. So it just, whichever side you're sitting on, remember that the only way to like break through that is to start taking steps towards what it is that you want, however that looks for you. The outcome of April. Eight of Swords. Ah, come on. I'm going to clarify this. It's like, ooh, I don't know. What are you going to decide? What do you want to have happen? I'm like, no, come on. Give me a little more. Knight of Cups. So the emotional evolution that you're going through, perhaps it again, if it's a romantic connection, the Two of Cups, there's a lot of evolution happening on that front. But it also has to do with your personal emotional state. Like, how much are you opening yourself up? How much are you closing yourself off? How much are you revealing? How much are you in touch with? I think you're going to see that that is driving a lot of stuff this month, and that it kind of becomes a really key part as you're wrapping up the month. The Knight of Cups is what's going to determine the next direction, or when May comes along, this is what's going to put you in a position to execute May in a way that works for you. But you want to pay attention to your body. I am like a broken record when I say that because it's beyond important. So just know that this is going to help guide your decisions, because the Eight of Swords is about being blind and being uncertain. And so the uncertainty isn't necessary. It's just that you kind of have to place an order. You have to decide what it is that you want. All right, now we're getting into the timeline. If you're new to my channel, hello and welcome, first of all. And we're going to do the 4 quarters. They're about a week-ish of April. So the first quarter, where you start off the month, is the Ace of Coins. Okay. This is that Fool and the Eight of Coins, the blend of both, because this is initiation, that new start, that fresh beginning on whatever it is. So relationships, professional endeavors, friendships, new connections, because the connection piece is important. Exploring new things is important. And you initiate that at the beginning of the month. Second quarter, we have the Queen of Coins. So this is where you really begin to feel like you're taking aligned action. Great time to actually dig into the work, start doing more and more and more, building in whatever way makes sense for you on whatever you want to give energy to, because you're going to see that expand as a result. Quarter 3, Ace of Wands. Your energy is back. So all of this is having a lot of payoff. I think that maybe if you were stuck in, oh, this is what I should be doing, or this is the way I should think about things, or this is what I wanted to do in the past, if you're willing to separate yourself, remember that 10 of Swords is important as well. If you're willing to separate yourself from that, you can actually start building things that you care about. There's no point in building something that you don't care about. I mean, what good is that going to do you? So I think that when you start by initiating something that feels really good to work on and give energy to and build, it just stabilizes you so much, and then it cranks up the heat, because then you have something you're passionate about. Then it turns into, oh wow, this is giving me life right now. This is a life-fulfilling project or endeavor or connection that's sitting in my space, and it's fueling you. So I see this as the passion and inspiration that you're getting this month on building something fresh and new is what is supplying you with energy. Fourth quarter, 3 of Wands. So looking out into the distance, kind of at the plot of land that you have, and like, what am I going to do with this now? Like, you kind of have a little foundation, you have a little fire going. So now what do you want it to turn into? What do you want it to evolve into? So I think it's an extension of, this is the exploration month. Then you're going to start building, well, hopefully you take action. I mean, I'm excited to hear how all of this goes, or if you guys have some stuff that you're doing to get more in alignment with what it is that you want to do, not what you think you should do. And then you're really going to pick up steam in the months ahead, assuming you take action. Now let's go ahead and do a 3-card pick. I am using an oracle deck today for this, so you're welcome to ask for guidance. You can ask a question. You can pick as few or as many cards as you'd like. All right, card number 1. Love grows love. Okay, so this is about reciprocity. And remember, when you're leading, when you're reaching, when you are striving for that connection or reaching for that connection or cultivating that connection, it's going to expand. Remember, where your energy goes, including your thoughts, words, and actions, all of those things are going to contribute to the expansion of whatever you are doing. Now, this can be romantic love. Remember, we have the 2 of Cups and connection card popping up. But it can also be love of family, love of projects, love of work, love of animals. I mean, whatever it is you're really passionate about, whatever gets that fire going in your belly, that is essentially you connecting with love, right? It's not exclusive to romantic love. It's whatever lights your fire. So don't forget that. Giving more to the things that inspire you and make you feel good will result in receiving more of that. Card number 2, we have Can't Be Caught. So kind of like flying by the seat of your pants, skating under the radar. I think you kind of have a get out of jail free card this month a little bit in terms of energetically. Not that natural law ceases to exist just because I pulled that card, but it's about like you having a good stroke of luck this month. Like if there's something that you want to apply yourself to, or there's something that you want to take a risk on, great month for risk taking. Let me tell you that. Risk is how you get the biggest rewards. Card number 3, A Fearful World. Watch yourself with media stuff. I do bring that up sometimes just because I think people get so... It's like if you turn on the news all you're going to see is parasitic stuff. Like, there's simply no other way to put it. The media runs on fear. Like, everyone has their own personal fears, right? So it's something, if you are sensitive, maybe detox from that a little bit. Give yourself a little bit of a break. The world is going to keep turning, even if you shut the news off for a little spell. But I think that maybe clearing some of that out will be helpful rather than trying to feed your mind a bunch of fear. So I'm getting that media is big, and also finding a way to be present. Like, if you're struggling with this, remember, check in with your body. Are you breathing? Are you awake? Do you have food on the table? Like, just check in with the things that are around you. What can you smell? What can you see? What can you touch? What's going on in your body? Notice all of that, and it can help bring you into the present rather than focusing on all of the nonsense that, might be coming in through other means. All right, my lovely Scorpio friends, thank you so much for joining me today. I certainly appreciate you all so much, especially those of you who work with me. You guys are what make this channel possible, so I am just forever in your debt. I wish each and every one of you nothing but the best for April. Thank you so much. If you want to know which decks I used, they're all listed in the description box as usual. And if you'd like to work with me one-on-one, check out the description box for all the links to make that happen. And I will talk to you all later. Have a good one, everybody. Bye-bye.